the other thing was, I was at I was flying somewhere once. I was at Atlanta airport, and when a flight gets cancelled, if you're a traveler, there's nothing you can do. You just wait your turn. They'll tell you what flight you're on, but everybody else seems to think they're the only person in the world, and they all crowd down the desk and they're all screaming, and they're all going, "I've got to get there." Well, yeah, we've all got to get there.
I've
But
been that guy before.
right? And if you're a seasoned traveler, you just, it is what it is, right? You can be frustrating sometimes because you got to get places, but there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? So I have seen the poor people who work behind the desks on hundreds of occasions over all these years go to pieces because people are rude and obnoxious and just horrible, thinking that this particular person can change get a new plane for them or whatever. And I've seen certain people run away. I mean, like just leave the post because they can't handle it because there's too many people screaming. Well, this particular day, because I'm always watching, I was never on my phone when I was in an airport. I'm watching, and I still do it to this day because I watch people's mannerisms. I watch things all the time because that was the way I trained myself to be open-minded to what my character could be. I look for things. You all know it, right? You might not want to admit it, but there's times that you see people and you think, why do I want to punch them right in the mouth? Right? Or it's just one of those things, right? And
I know what you mean.
As a villain, as a wrestling villain, I used to, if I saw that, instantly my brain used to go, okay, what's he doing? Or what's happening here? Let me try that. Maybe it might not be now or tonight, but let me stick it in my back pocket of tricks. And usually if I was on a live event that night, I would get on the apron and I would do some kind of mannerism that I'd seen that day and look at somebody on the third row and I can tell, or look at several people, if I'm doing something annoying, just a little annoying thing with my hand or just a little snarl or whatever, see if it gets a reaction out of them. Okay, that works. And sometimes I'd try it because we used to have so many live events. Sometimes I'd try it, and if only works 3 out of 10 times, then
right.
But I'd keep it in the back pocket.
Sure.
Well, this particular day, I know this is a long story, but that's everything with me. So you better get used to it if you want to listen to this. Keep me on track, man. So this particular day, I'm watching what is going on. I've already got a seat, and there's people are just mobbing this poor fella who's working at the desk in Atlanta airport. And instead of him getting all frustrated, they're all screaming, and he just went, and just carried on. And I don't know if he was really typing or just pretending to type, but he kept doing that.
And for people who are listening, you're basically just puckering your lips,
just puckering my lips and putting my tongue around.
Right.
So he was just doing that and putting his tongue in and just moving his tongue. And after about 30 seconds, all these people that were screaming stopped and they all walked away. And it stuck with me. It was just one of those moments that I've seen, and he diffused the situation. I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know what it may have just been, but that stuck with me. So when I went back to Raw 2 weeks later, that was happening to me all the time. And if you go back and watch any of that stuff, you'll see me. And it became part of my act then. That if I was doing these long 10-minute things or whatever I was doing, and my lip was dragging and it made a bit of a hissing sound or whatever, I would stop and I would push my top lip, my tongue into my top lip to get, first of all, to get it moving a little bit, to get some feeling in it, and then put some moisture in it. And then I would also look at my fingernails at the same time, because that's what he was doing as well. And looking at his fingernails and just like looking at the backs of his hands and and pushing his tongue. And so that became a part of my act. So all these different things have built up over the years where I have these little things, whether you notice them or not, they're just there to be a part of. So
It's it's fascinating to me that last week you talked about and you gave advice to wrestlers, and this is a great show for a budding wrestler. My son wants to be a wrestler, to listen to, because you said get, and I agree with music. Get inspiration from things outside of your realm. Get
outside of your
inspiration
realm,
from TV,
yes,
from real life, and it sounds
anything,
to me like you're always conditioned to look out for it, because it's one thing to get
yes,
inspiration; it's another thing to be constantly on the
constantly
lookout
on the
for it.
lookout
Yeah,
for it and for little things. Okay, so where did we start with this? That's it. You've got to keep me on
yeah.
track.
Well, we are starting talking about the man's man
Oh,
period
oh,
of. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. The we started with the AEW
Yes.
thing. So we did. That was it.